Hi, I'm Susan Byer with Audience Audit, and this is Fun with Research. Glad you joined me today because we are talking about the importance of a thought leadership reputation on agency operations. So last week, we talked about this with respect to new business, and the research that we've been conducting demonstrates tremendous value for agency operations as well, which is sometimes something we don't really think about when it comes to a thought leadership reputation. So if you haven't watched last week's episode, go ahead and do that. But I've got some good stuff to show you today on operations. So as we said last time, we know what B2B thought leadership followers want in terms of thought leadership. They want genuine content from an authentic provider. They want something new. They want something helpful. They want it from someone that they like and trust. And one of the things that we see in our research is that agencies who have this thought leadership reputation struggle with far fewer challenges than agencies that do not. This is data from our agency audit study. This is strong agreement with the fact that these are severe challenges for these agencies. That's what these percentages represent. And you can see a number of these challenges where we really see a difference between the agencies that have a thought leadership reputation and the agencies that don't. Here are the segments we found in the research. There are two of them, thought leaders and loyalty builders, both of which say they have a strong thought leadership reputation compared to the other agency types in the survey. And when we look at the percentages that are dealing with challenges that are operational, so here's salary levels. Back in 2021, when we conducted this study, this was a huge issue for agencies who were really dealing with salaries that were sort of out of control. But even in that circumstance, we can see the thought leadership folks struggling with that to a lesser degree. And why would that be the case? Well, it could be that because when you are a thought leader, you can charge more than someone who is an interchangeable Lego block with every other provider out there. And so salaries become easier to accommodate regardless of level. But it can also be that working for a thought leader is an appealing perspective for a potential employee. Many of them want to work with an organization that has a reputation as a thought leader in the space. It helps them, looks good on their resume. So salary demands may not be as severe with some of those employees. So a couple of options there. Here's another one, risk of client defection. We see less risk of client defection in organizations that have a thought leadership reputation. And if you saw last week's episode, you will see that a majority of B2B followers say they are more likely to stay with a vendor that has a reputation as a thought leader than one that does not. So that's what we're seeing reflected in this other study as well. This is from Predictive ROI's study that we do with them called the ROI of Thought Leadership. This is their 2022 study where we actually talk to decision makers and organizations who are building their thought leadership actively. And what we see is very high percentages of those folks strongly agreeing that their thought leadership activities are helping them to achieve specific goals. So from an operational standpoint, keeping customers and clients longer, retention is an operational benefit. Not only do you not have to spend on getting new clients through your sales and new business development efforts, but you also have opportunities with loyal clients to generate more work over time, to see results for clients that have an impact on their decision to stay with you, etc. So keeping and customers and clients longer, a majority of all of the segments in that study said that thought leadership activity was helping them with that. Also, attracting higher quality employees. This is what we were just talking about. Employees want to work for thought leader organizations. And we see very high percentages strongly agreeing that their thought leadership activities are doing that for them. And then, of course, there are some sales benefits, new business benefits that we talked about last time. So watch that video if you haven't seen it. But for organizations, there's a real impact of thought leadership operationally. So for one thing, differentiation is simply more obvious. We see it in the responses of people who follow and work with thought leaders, they see differentiation very easily. And we also see it in the responses of organizations doing thought leadership where they are seeing a differentiation, a perception of differentiation with their prospects and clients. Visibility of content is easier to get and more widespread. If you are a thought leader, your content gets seen more. It gets picked up by other people who reference you. Word of mouth takes on. You get speaking opportunities, podcast opportunities, blog opportunities, etc. So your content gets out there. Content, generally speaking, is easier to plan and produce. Many agencies struggle with, well, what am I going to write about and how am I going to talk about what we want to talk about? And thought leadership really gives you an opportunity to sort of lay out a story and a point of view for folks, and it just makes it easier to get your content done. Team loyalty is better and salaries aren't as much of an issue. We see that in the data. Recruiting becomes easier. Client retention is better. And something else that people sometimes don't think about is that you can actually be paid what you're worth better when you have a thought leadership reputation. It is differentiating. It sets you apart as an expert. Your prospects and customers see your content out and about. They see you presenting at conferences or appearing on podcasts. And that allows you to charge what you're worth. And it can not only help you with incoming clients, but it can also help you increase profitability from existing clients, both because your pricing is better, but also because those existing clients are buying more services from you year after year because you are a thought leader and you are showing them results. So pricing can be normalized and profitability can be improved. So if you haven't thought about the operational benefits of a thought leadership reputation, I hope this is helpful. Next week, we're going to be talking about some of the issues and challenges that organizations have with respect to building their thought leadership. We have a lot of data on this. So I hope you join me next week on Fun with Research. It's been great talking with you. See you then. Bye.